that involved anything like that.
Kim Rosmo says the deaths of Louise Cameron, Manon Dubé, and Theresa Allore need to be looked at as a pattern. But the Quebec Provincial Police, the Sûreté de Quebec, says there are no connections. SQ agent Chantel Mackles. A geographic profiler by the name of Kim Rosmo has taken a look at all these cases, and he says if you connect the dots, there was a serial killer on the loose in 1978.
All theories are good, but we need physical proof. We need something to lead us in our investigation. And in Theresa's case, we don't have that. We are facing a suspicious death. And to this day, it's unknown what the cause of her death is and what the circumstances of her death is.
But at the time, the Sûreté Quebec was investigating the murder of another young woman, Louise Cameron, in an area adjacent to where Theresa Allore was found. Do police not, as a rule, try to make a connection between two young, so similar women? You did.
We did.
And?
We did try to make a connection. In the case of Louise Cameron, it's evident that there's signs of strangulation. In Theresa's case, it is not. So there, you don't have that similarity. Yes, they are two women in about the same age, in about the same area, but to this day, we have no physical evidence to prove that they are linked. But in the case of the young Manon Dubé, she was a 10-year-old girl. She was all dressed up when we found her. It's not the same case.
But Kim Rosmo believes that is missing the point. It's the timing and the locations that count. 3 disappearances, 3 bodies in such a confined geographic space rules against chance.
All I can say is that this needs to be looked at as a pattern of crimes to see where that leads. And by looking at everything, they may decide that this is not connected or that's not connected. They have more evidence available to us. But if you don't even look, if you don't ask the question, how will you ever know?
It's not the first time Rosmo's theory about the possibility of a serial killer has been dismissed. He was the first police officer in Vancouver to warn that women disappearing from the downtown east side were likely victims of a single predator. Pig farmer Robert Picton is now facing 22 counts of first-degree murder and, if convicted, will go down in history as Canada's worst serial killer. The SQ would not give W-5 any details of its investigation, but Theresa's brothers are convinced the Sûreté has reopened the case and is seriously looking at 2 possible perpetrators. Are these suspects on the loose, or are they incarcerated?
In one case, there is a suspect who currently lives in the Eastern Township area. In the other case, there is a suspect who is incarcerated.
With a known history of sexual assault?
In the case of the one who's living in Eastern Townships, yes, a long history of sexual assault. As the police said to me, he fits the profile.
Decades after much had been forgotten or destroyed, John and Andre Allore say they were left to investigate a murder on their own. They want someone held responsible. But no matter what happens, they have found some peace setting the record straight for Theresa.
To know that our family in some ways have come together and come to her aid. That is extremely satisfying.
Andre, too, feels they have rewritten history.
It put Theresa in a completely different light. This whole drug overdose idea was put to rest. She got a raw deal, out of life, and then, after she died, people that could have done something were doing nothing, And,
they let her down.
And really let her down. So, and I think a lot of what we're doing now is trying to change that for her.
Although the Lennoxville police chief didn't want to believe it 26 years ago, today Leo Amel is convinced Theresa Allore was killed.
Myself, I really believe, I believe it's a murder. So I have to say that. I believe it's a murder.
Does it still sit with you?
Oh, boy. I really wanted to solve the problem, to make a closure for everybody.
Do you think that they will ever find out what happened to Theresa Allore?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
The circumstances of Theresa Allore's death, it's a secret she took to her grave. A secret her killer may take to his. The horror of what happened to their only daughter, along with all the unknowns, has been so painful that until now, Theresa's parents have never spoken publicly about her death.
I think she was picked up by someone in a car.
In their hearts, they don't believe they will ever know what really happened to her. But they support their son's quest for truth and justice.
Too much time has passed. I think it's too late now. But I think that just what John and Andre have done, it's been wonderful. And it's a big help. And having you here is a good help. I think because somebody cares.
A couple of notes about the Theresa Allore case. First, Champlain College in Lennoxville, which refused an interview with W-5, did provide a written statement saying, "At the time of this most unfortunate incident, we cooperated fully with the police and the family. As an institution of higher learning, we have always conducted ourselves in a proper manner regarding any and all aspects of this case." As for police, they say the Allore file is considered an active case, but they need new information, and 26 years later are still appealing for anyone who knows anything about her disappearance and death to come forward. We'll be right back. You can also find us on the internet at w5.ctv.ca, and there you can learn more about our stories, even watch them again online. Until next week, on behalf of all of us at W5, thanks for joining us. I'm Sandy Ronaldo. Good night.